Hello and welcome to today's video on how to create a SkySlope transaction from within your CINC system using the SkySlope integration. What we're going to do is we're starting on our lead dashboard page, and we're going to find the buyer lead that is purchasing a property, and we're going to show you how to create that transaction seamlessly from your CINC system and push that into SkySlope to continue the transaction management side. So we're going to take a look at our lead here, SkySlope Training Lead. We're going to click to open and expand their profile. And we want to look at this Info tab. If you followed along in our first video on how to set up your SkySlope integration, you should now see the SkySlope field here, where you're able to start your transaction. If you do not see the option to start your transaction for SkySlope, you haven't set up your integration, and you can refer to our How to Set Up Your SkySlope Integration video for a complete walkthrough on how to get started. To continue with starting a transaction from the CINC system, you're going to hit Start Transaction. It's going to pop up this message here, at which point you're going to be able to click Search Properties. And a property search modal will pop up. You're able to search by either the address or the MLS number that your buyer lead is purchasing. For this test case, I'm just going to search 123 so I can grab a property off of the MLS. So we're going to grab this one right here. 123 Palomino Way, just for the example case. Okay. Once I've selected that information, what's going to happen is it's going to drop you here on this tab. You're going to fill in your user information. It's going to drop you and you're going to choose the user. This is going to be typically the buyer's agent on the transaction. Your office. If you have multiple office locations, you want to make sure your transaction is listed under the appropriate office. So make sure to select the correct office in that dropdown. And in the checklist type, you're going to want to choose which type of listing this is, whether that's multi-unit, short sale, new home. These checklist types will mirror the checklist that you have set up in your SkySlope account. We pull those across so that way you're able to get the appropriate checklist started once the transaction is created. In this case, we're just going to go for a new home. We're going to hit Next. It's going to drop us onto this page, at which point we're going to confirm the property information. It should pull all of this directly from the MLS, but we always like to double check to make sure there aren't any errors. So confirm the property information. Additional property info, if you have the MLS number, if there's a unit number that you need to add, the year built. Transactional information, including the listing price, the sale price, the contract acceptance, and the closing date. If you don't have these on hand when you're creating the transaction, you can choose a placeholder date now and update those dates later in your SkySlope system. So we're going to choose today's date as the acceptance date, and I'm going to choose December 31st as my closing date. Again, these dates can be modified once you're in your SkySlope system and that transaction has been created through CINC. You'll choose the source. This is going to allow you to track your ROI per source in your SkySlope system. So we'll just grab SOI. If you have a secondary source, you can add that as well. And is this an office lead or not? You might have different commission splits for office leads versus SOI. You can put in your commission percentages. You can break that down by percentage or dollar amount. I'm going to leave it set for percentage for this example. Commission details, if you have a transaction coordinator that's handling this, if they have a fee, if you have the dates of checks, date posted, other deductions, any additional information that you have, you can input that now. These can all be modified once you're in your SkySlope system. And you'll notice that these don't have they're not required fields. They don't have that asterisk next to them, so you don't have to fill these out. Commercial lease details, this isn't a lease, so you can leave this field blank as well. And we'll click next. What we're going to do here is going to confirm the buyer contact. It should have pulled the information from our buyer lead into the profile here. We're going to add a seller contact. All right, the seller contact is required. I'm just going to put in my information here. All right, then you're going to go through and add your title contact. These are also fields that are required to get the transaction started, but if you don't have this information on hand, you can put in placeholders such as TBD, and then update that information once you're in the SkySlope system and have full access to the title or escrow information on your side. So the escrow contact, again, this is the same as the title. It could be a placeholder field if you don't have the information on hand. If you do, go ahead and add that in here. Going to add the information for the agent on the other side. If you have home warranty info, you can add that as well, but this field is not required for the transaction to be created. Now that we've input all of our information, we're going to confirm details. And now we have the opportunity to hit Visit SkySlope, and this will automatically log us in to that transaction we just created within your SkySlope system. If we refresh this page, you will notice that it kind of resets back to your traditional view of the Info tab. And you'll have transactional information at the very bottom, as well as the ability to create a new transaction. So you'll see the transactional information, your single sign-on button to get you to that transaction within your SkySlope system, as well as the ability to create multiple transactions so you have an investor on hand. So that's how you create a transaction using the CINC system to create the transaction, to push it into your SkySlope system, and your SkySlope system will handle all of the paperwork and e-signatures. Thank you for joining us to learn how to create a transaction through CINC to SkySlope. Check out our other video on how to create a listing and how to set up the integration. Thanks. Have a great day.